Of us, Dini, we carry it around the outside, push it to the inside. Dini going to try and carry around the outside of Aqua Minerale, and he's ahead once again. So Alex Everitt, his progression through the field stopped a little bit there by Dini. Not letting it through as easily as. Oh, that's a touch there between Ricardo Pessoa Santos and Alex Ward, or from Pedro Santos. That was his lie, but that allowed Jeff Perkins to try and maybe send it down the inside. Not able to get close enough though. Now look at this then, side by side of this. Alex Everitt now on the inside of Ian Dini. He's going to be pushed to the inside. Breaks later. Latest of the latest breakers. Pushes him wide to the outside. And now Alex Everitt is finally ahead. Does what Ian Dini did to him last lap. And he can now go and chase down Jurgen Matley Peterson ahead of him in the Lincoln Co as well. He might be a little bit more cooperative. Look at this then, a battle for the lead. Ross Butcher under attack from Pedro Santos into the Variante Alta. The inside for the first part, outside for the second part. Is he going to lose that position? Yes, he is. Can't slot in front of him, but luckily for him, he can slot in behind Ross Butcher once again.
Growing at the front. Pedro Santos trying to get past Mr. Ross Butcher.
Is he going to be able to make that pass stick this time round? Not quite.
Oh, there it is again.
Oh, a battle for the lead. Ross Butcher now on the outside. Pedro Santos is going to try and make this pass stick on the inside. Can he do so? Yes, he can. They're side by side now, coming onto the main straight through Variante Bassa, where of course we have that little bit of chicane for the moto. There we go, past in on the right hand side of the screen right now. But Pedro Santos is ahead. Ross Butcher now is side by side with Geoff Perkins. 4 minutes and spared to go now. 4 minutes exactly into the Variante Alta. Gets a good exit out of there. Now he can try and go up the inside of Geoff Perkins. You can see just champion mentality, just knows where to put his car, knows when to play on the exit. Does that beautifully here. Has the outside for the first spot, a little bit of contact. Down the inside, actually shoots wide. And is lucky that he doesn't collect Pedro Santos on the way in. Butcher up to the lead once again. Pedro Santos trying to make that pass stick. Was in the lead last lap, but under pressure, cracked a little bit, made that mistake, and now he's going to try and have to go around the outside of Variante Tamburello once again. The outside for the first part, not quite able to stick it around the outside. Alex Everitt now going to try and get that cut back to the inside of Geoff Perkins. Defending the inside is Ross Butcher. Lets everyone pause. Once again, look at this, Alex Everitt now involved in this as well. He's finally gone through again. And Geoff, the Aqua Minerale, a touch there between Alex Everitt and Pedro Santos around the outside. He's going to have to try and carry it. That corner does lend itself to do so. But Alex Everitt is going to do it on track, probably is. Geoff Perkins going to make it 3 wide into Variante Alta. Not a corner to go 3 wide into.
No.
But Alex Everitt does manage to get through cleanly and is now up into P1. On the inside of Pedro Santos, not quite able to get close enough. And Alex Everitt is going to come through victorious in race 1 here. Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again back with the Crest Autosport World Touring Car Challenge Season 4. This week we're at, and hang on with me here because it's a French name, so we're going to try and pronounce this correctly, Nogaro Circuit Paul Armagnac. I hope I said that correctly, and today once again I'm here in the commentary booth with Dean Biggles. Biggles though this evening isn't feeling too well, so you won't be hearing as much from him as you are used to, but yeah, big ups to the man for still being here. Yeah, as usual, our main sponsors is Apex Tracks, and our other partners are 603 Autosports, 3D Wrap Track Racer, Digital Motorsports, Esports Sim, and the GP Box. Biggles,
Yes,
we're
sir.
once again back with the Crest Autosports World Touring Car Challenge, and last week was a great race at Imola, and we're expecting more of the same here at Circuit Paul Armagnac.
Good to see you got the practice on that one, exactly. This is just south of France, located in the very southern port and come close down to the Spanish border. And as you can see, it's been over the years, it's hosted a GT championship and the Black Spin. The Black Spin, yes, the Black Spin Sprint Series. You can go ahead with this, mate, sorry.
Yeah, well, as we all know, there are two different, timetables or schedules that we have. Today, we have 3 sprint races. As you know it from last season, the first race, 15 minutes long, second race, 15 minutes long, and race 3, 20 minutes long. And of course, we add to that a 15-minute qualifying, which we're going to come up to in just a little time. Of course, we do know that the grid from race 1 is based on the qualifying result, and the grid from race 2 based on the result from race 1 with a reverse top 10. And the grid for race 2 will be done with a reversed top, or the grid for race 3 will be done with a reversed top 10 from race 2. We're up for a cracker with all of these cars in it as well. We have Alfa Romeo Giulietta, an Audi RS3 LMS, a Cupra Leon Competition, Honda Civic, and a Hyundai i30N, and a Hyundai Elantra. The Lada Vesta, the Lincoln Co. 03 that we know from last season was really, really quick. The Opel Astra, which I think only one driver is driving that at the moment. The Peugeot 308, the Renault Megane, and the Volkswagen Golf GTI. Those are all the cars that we will be using here this evening. And if we go back to the calendar, you can see last week we were at Imola, an amazing race we had there. A new schedule that we had to get used to, of course, a longer endurance race, which we won't get into now, but, well, that was an amazing race today at Nogaro. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I'm trying to do my best French accent, but yeah. For French at school, I always failed. After this, we will go to TT Assen, my home country, of course. I do know how to pronounce that. Then we will go to Spa-Francorchamps, Suzuka, and of course, the last race, the Lausitzring, which of course will be called the Apex Tracks Grand Prix, of course, with the anniversary of Apex Tracks being there as a sponsor for, I think, 1 year now. So yeah, that's absolutely big. Looking forward to that one, of course, for the people who didn't know. The logo that you can see on the middle bottom of your screen, the Apex Tracks logo, is actually the Lausitzring. So that is actually very neatly chosen there from Crest Autosport. But I think it's time now to move on to last week's results, which will ultimately be the championship. Fabio Gil came out after last week on top of the championship ahead of Lee Horne. I've had a chat with him just a little moment ago. He's feeling confident again this evening here at this track. Fraser Rostons ahead of Alex Everitt. Alex not being as dominant as he was last season, I have to say. Not as quick as he was coming through the field. Remo Schneider in P5, P6 for Ross Butcher. Jeff Perkins in P7 and 8, Pedro Santos. All looking really, really rather close there. From Alex Everitt down to Pedro Santos, the gap is basically 7 points, and that's from P4 all the way down to P8. So 4 drivers within, well, basically 7 points. So it's all looking rather close here. That Alex Ward in 9th on 55 points. Jürgen Masi Peterson in 10th on 54 points. Only 1 point between those drivers. And Stephen de Graveler on 53. And Paul Hans on 52 in 12th. So those drivers also covered by 4 points, those 4 positions. Neil Craven P13 on 38. 14th, Robert Stoughton on 37 point. Ian Daney 15th. 16th, Gabriel Lopez. 17th, Ricardo Pessoa Santos. Greg Deacon in 18th. Nigel Stock 19th. 20th, Rodrigo Portugal. Roy Plummer in 21st. Carl Smith in 22nd. Anastasios Georgiadis. James Lee. Martin, well, that's a difficult last name. Koran, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Younes Karbit and Jake Wilson all on 0 points.
Yeah, you got through them quite well. That's very good. And we'll go down to the track side, of course, because they're underway for the final bit of practice. And of course, there's one of our sponsors up and to the top right-hand side. And if you use that code, of course, which is the Crest Autosport, I think you type that in. It's also listed in the bottom as well as the description. You're going to save 10% off your 3D wrap products. So
Who
you can
doesn't
wrap
want
your
that?
steering wheels and cars. You can pretty much wrap anything. Helmets,
doesn't want
things
that?
like that. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe 10%.
Well, there we are.
Especially we as Dutchies, we like to save on basically everything, Biggles. So for us, that's huge. But I want to point out something out, and that is something that I have read, is the fact that there are 36 seats available for the season. Well, basically 36 full-time seats. There are, of course, part-time seats available for if someone isn't able to race, and we want to have a 36 a 36 car field. So as you can see, 20 drivers out on track at the moment. There are still some spots available, so make sure if you want, you can sign up. It only costs you £2 if I'm correct with that, and you can race in this amazing league. So if you have the possibility, and if you think, well, this is something I would like to do, go for it. Sign yourself up and see how you go, of course, in the rest of the calendar. Next track, TTS. So a lovely track to join in at. So if you want to join, that's where you need to go. Of course, the link is in the description. Biggles, this track, I didn't really know it before. The only French track that I know is basically Paul Ricard. So yeah, good to know a next or another French track. A thing that I do know about this track is that this track is really, really harsh on the tires. The tires do take a beating here, and I think this is one of the only races where we will see tire wear coming into effect even in a sprint race. So yeah, those carrying ballast will of course have an even bigger disadvantage with that.
Yeah, the tires is exactly what Alex has made us aware of, that massive amount of tire wear on this track. So once again, it's going to be very, very interesting. You can see at that moment there, Fabio Gil, the man leading the championship at the moment, is just struggling with some of the off tracks as well.
Well, Biggles.
See, like you can see those runoff areas there, so that's going to really punish those tires.
Yeah, it is. 2 minutes left here of practice, Biggles, and like last week, it's rather close at the top again. Alex Everitt behind the Indini. The man who I miss at the top, though, Lee Horne, he is about 4/10 behind, a little bit less. Ian Dini at the moment in first. As we know, we're not in qualifying yet. It doesn't all really matter here. He could just be trying race pace. He could just be settling into his race pace. But at the moment, it's looking less likely he's going to take pole position than I think it was last week. Because last week, of course, we know he was on top of the practice session. As we see Lee Horne there going off into the gravel, definitely having difficulties here. It's a smaller track, or it's a tighter track than all the others we've gone to. It's quite a long track though, 1 minute 32 the lap times, or a quick lap time. So quite a long track, but the track is quite narrow, as we like to say. So, well, it could be difficult overtaking here.
Yes, it will probably be. It's 3.6 kilometers this track, which is about 2.2 miles. And 15 wonderful turns. Yeah, but it's just... The third sector is just insane. First and third sectors are just constant. So see that? Constant steering all the time, really. You don't have much of a break at all. There's a tiny little straightaway, then there's the two main straights. But that's it. So you're going to be working that wheel. And on top of it, on top of it, you're also going to be side by side with these races, as we've seen so far this season and last season, of course. Lots of elbows out racing. And that'll be it for the practice session. We should be getting ready to go qualifying in a minute.
Are you excited, Biggles? I definitely am.
I am. And even though I'm under the weather, hopefully it'll boost me up a little bit there and get me more inspired. You can see those cardboard cutout people there. Hello. They're sitting on the thing.
No. They tried at least. I have to give him that.
Well,
but,
the other ones there, look, they're properly modelled. Qualifying's underway. Anyway, 15 minutes you're going to have, and look at that, they're coming out of the gate pretty early. So, are you expecting a lot of off-track excursions just to invalidate their laps?
Well, Biggles, coming back to those cardboard people, you know what they say: don't spend time on things they won't even see.
Yeah.
Normally, if you're racing those people on top of that building, they don't matter to you. The only thing that matters is how the car feels and how the car looks and how the track looks. So that's what, of course, all the developers will be focusing on. But getting to qualifying then, yeah, I'm excited, I have to say, with corners like Courbe. Well, guys, I'm really trying my best here, but French has never been one of my best parts in school. So bear with me here. With corners like Les Duilac, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Virage de la Ferme, I know I pronounced that one correctly because I know those words. Double Courbe de la Coupen. So I'm gonna stop pronouncing French names, but those are one of the corners that we have here. And like you said, in total, 15 corners on this track.
All right, it looks like Ian's about to start a hot lap, so would you like to give us a guide on board from Ian's car? The first one will be crossing the line doing a hot lap. This is the Alfa Romeo, and here you go. So into the sector 2, that's first corner, second corner, third corner, actually right there. You can give us a guide here.
This is the start-finish straight. There we go then, across the line. And we start our lap around this circuit, the Nogaro, I'm going to call it. And we, well, head ourselves into turn 1. We go through turn 2. We get up to a really twisty section now, really tight this section, really narrow. So I don't think we will be seeing too much overtaking through this part now. We have almost a double right-hander, a double apex right-hander. We get through this one cleanly, and then we have a left-hander coming up a really tight hairpin. You have to, well, kind of get this one out of the way to get a good exit onto, which will be a really long straight. This is one of the best overtaking opportunities because after this long straight, we have a big braking zone coming up. So as you can see, Indini now, as we go 4 seconds off board, then into a hard braking zone. Now we have one right turn, then another one coming up immediately after that. So also a double apex corner this here. Here we go. There we go, apex 1 and apex 2. Then we get another left-hander coming up here. Well, it's just a really tight track, and you're working the steering wheel basically all the time, apart from those 2 straights that we have, which is the starting straight and the straight after that. Now we have a longer straight coming up as well. Now we head into the right-hander, which will be a really tight one as well. Then we have one left-hander coming up, I think, after this one. We'll go into right-hander, then a left-hander, and then we head back to the start-finish straight. And that, I think, is about a 2 minutes or a 1 minute 33.
Well, I guess 132. You're on the money.
There we go.
132.9, so almost a 133, as you can see. So that was Mr. Ian. But Ian has invalidated. No, there is actually clicked in at the moment, a little bit delayed on that one. Lee Horne back on top, my friend, again. For his qualifying.
Look at the times. Yeah, indeed, I was quite wrong with that, I have to say. So yeah, as usual here, I'm wrong with my predictions, but a 132.781, that is already quicker than he has gone, I think, in practice. About a 10th quicker, so still some time to find here for Lee Horne. But at the moment, he's the man in pole position ahead of Lee, and that's, he's at the moment is almost a 10th. Behind him, let's call it a 10, 900ths of a second behind him. That gap is, well, closable, I have to say, Biggles. It's not like that's a really big gap for Lee Horne there.
Yes, it is closable. By the way, if you are in the chat, I will always be reading that chat, so say hello if you like. If you have a particular driver,
like that?
If you have a particular driver, anybody you want to shout out for, or we can also change it over and have a look at the driver if we're going to catch some action. And give us a seat. Please like and subscribe as well if you're enjoying our broadcast. Here's one for you, Dan. Like, we have a ton of cars this season, more than we had last season. But there is one manufacturer that they're not using, I believe. It's maybe 2 of those car manufacturers not using. Do you know them?
I think that's the Volkswagen, so the VW TDI.
No, James Lee's using that one.
Okay.
Yep.
The Opel is used, I can see.
Yes, the Opel's used.
The Hyundai and the Audi and the Alfa Romeo is also used.
So that no Peugeot.
The Lynk & Co as well. I'm missing the Peugeot indeed.
Peugeot, yep.
And the one I'm missing as well, if I take a look at the cars that are in the field as well, I'm missing the Renault Megane.
That's right, the Renault, because we have the Subaru here. A couple of Subarus. Obviously, the popular car is the
Lada Festa I'm
Link
missing
car.
as well, by the way, Biggles.
And Audis. Yes, there we go.
The Lada Festa not here as well. Those are mainly the three manufacturers that we don't really use. Only one for Volkswagen Golf GTI, and only one for the Opel Astra, as we know. The one and only Paul Hans is driving that Opel. And at the moment, Lee Horne still in pole position, provisional pole position, with a 132.781. But look at that, his main rival behind him there, Alex Everitt, 0.034 only behind him.
Yes, exactly. And this man as well, too, of course, leading the championship at the moment, hasn't set a time. So he has been out on track.
That could just be him invalidating his lap, Biggles, and it's not too big of an issue here. I think he still has 8 minutes or 8.5 minutes left. So he has time on the board still to set that lap time. But the closer you get to the end of qualifying, the more those laps are going to count. Because if you do not get that lap time in as championship leader here at this point, Biggles, that will basically be, I think, your championship lead gone. So
absolutely,
it's going to be difficult here.
Yeah, we've also got Stephen, the Belgium driver, remember, and we got Ricardo Santos. Are still yet to set a time, as well as this Portuguese driver. So we'll ride on board and see how Mr. Fabio's got to get something hooked up here. As once again you said, we're down to 7 minutes and change, and we know the lap times are 1:32. If you nail it, 1:31. No, 1:32.5 would be a good time to put in there if you wanted to beat Lee Horne to pole position.
Well, look at that then. Ian Deeney has come very close, 7,000ths of a second behind Lee Horne. Alex Everitt, though, still the same gap. And behind that, it is, let me quickly take a look. It is James Lee, who is only a 10 behind that. So 4 drivers there within the 10, James. Oh, or James. I almost called you James. Biggles. This is as close as we're used to here from the Crest Autosports guy. Fabio Gil, though, now jumps up at the 7th. Has that banker lap down. I think he will now be pointing himself towards improving here. In the practice session, though, wasn't anyone near close that top at all. So it could be the case that we see the championship either drop down a bit here. Everyone, of course, has the track that they like. It could just be the case that he likes Imola, or it can just be the case that he really dislikes this Nogaro track. So, well, it could just be one off evening. Don't count that out. Stephen de Gravely here as well. He seems to be struggling a little bit. He was quite on there last week. Stephen de Gravely going off track. That will invalidate his lap time.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's surprising. So there must be something technical wrong there with Ricardo, because he's sitting in the pit lane. It hasn't come out yet, and time's not on his side. I do apologize about, it's a little annoying, sorry, that the stickers are kind of covering over half of the cars, as you can see in the dash cam. So I'll see if I can find another nice camera for us. It might be a little bit more to see.
Can we go driver's eye view? Is that a possibility? Just on board?
We shall see. I think we just have a front and a dash.
That's fine.
No, that's practically all we have, unfortunately, my friend. That, and of course we.
This looks good.
Yeah.
Well, those numbers are really big. They're gonna be handy when, once you get on the offboard, so we can read them really well. This man, Ian Deeney, 7,000 he needs to find somewhere. He's on that lap at the moment. As we know, the tire. Oh, look at that! Then Alex Everitt into provisional pole position with a 132.421. He has done it again. The gap, though, now not 7,000ths of a second anymore to the man in P2. Now Lee Horne is gapped by 3 at, I say this as if it's nothing, but it's a really big gap. 3.5 tenths. The gap behind that, though, is still quite close to Ian Deeney there for second and third. And Neil Crape as well has put himself in there together with James Lee. But man, that is as close as it has ever been. I didn't really notice there Neil Crape putting himself into the top 3 at that point in time, or into the top 4. But Alex Everitt, what a time he's just set on the board. Lee Horne trying to immediately come back with something on that, but that's going to be difficult to beat that time. What a rapid time that is, a 1:32.421. That's quicker than we went in the practice session. That's an absolute rapid time there, Biggles, from Alex Everett.
Yeah, I honestly thought that a 32.5 would have been an absolute rapid time, and he's just pulled a 32.4 and absolutely throwing the gauntlet down to everybody here with, as I said, that 4:10 for almost a second. Well, 4:10s, of course, and then you got to go down to, well, that's Nigel there. That is a second off the pace, currently in P10 for its qualifying. Let's see, we're on board with Lee Horne, if he wants to steal this one back away from Alex, or will Ian Deanley do it? Neil Crave, of course, that's currently in 4th place. They got more time to find.
They do, but the thing is, I think the track is getting quicker, and I think he's not going to improve with that either. The thing is, Biggles, which I think is happening, is that the tires are going off. They're going to head back into the pit lane, going to go on another outlap, and they're basically going to go again, because the tires do take, like we said, a beating at this track. So after 2 or 3 laps, the best is really out of the tires, and you lose about, well, 3 to 4 tenths a lap. So that's why maybe they are going back into the pit lane, coming back out again, and that is maybe how Alex Everett has put that time. And I don't know if Lee Horne has gone back into the pit lane, but if that's the case, then I don't know. He was 8 tenths off of Alex Everett last lap.
Here he is down the main straightaway. Yeah. Well, one person that we do miss, of course, has just popped into the chat and said hello. That's the one person we do miss, Mr. Ninad. Hello, out there. Evening to you. And I'm gonna let I'm gonna let Dan pronounce his beautiful surname there.
Well, Ninad, please let us know if I'm correct, because I hope I am. Otherwise, last season I was pronouncing it wrong the whole time. Vladislavljevic.
I think that's actually pretty good. I think you're spot on that one. And of course, with Ninad, as we said, it can't race
Fabio
because
Gil,
of
look at that, championship leader. Sorry to cut you off there, Biggles.
Yeah.
Up into P2.
Fabio,
that is massive for the championship leader here. He doesn't even get within a tenth of Alex Everett, but to start in P2, I think would be massive for Fabio. I think now Alex is on the back foot starting this season. I think he just needs to be consistent. Needs to try and pick up the pieces when Alex Everett does drop them, to try and, well, dethrone Alex Everett, really, because he's been really quick. Last season he was mighty in the top category. This season though, only one category, as you saw. So every driver, well, in the same category, and it's paying off at the moment for Fabio Gil. He's only 1.5 tenths behind Alex Everett, but in P2, and if he can stay there, he might be able to jump him off the starting line, and that could be big for Fabio Gil. We're looking at Lee Horne, who doesn't seem to be improving either in Sector 1. Sector 2, though, is he going to be able to improve that? That's going to be the real question, because if he doesn't improve there, it's going to be basically stopping his lap in Sector 3, trying to, well, get a good line through the last sector, as that is the end of qualifying. So he does keep the car in P2, does Fabio Gil. The result, though, from qualifying, here we have it for you. Alex Everett in P1, Fabio Gil P2, Lee Horne P3, Ian Deaney P4, P5, Neil Crave, James Lee P6, Jeff Burkes P7, 8th, Jurgen Masby Peterson, Robert Stoten P9, Alex Ward P10, 11th, Nigel Stock, Craig Deakin, 12th, 13th, Paul Hans in the Opel. 14th, we have Rodrigo Portugal, 16th, Rory Plummer, Stephen Gravely in P16, 17th, Carl Hardy, 18th, Gabriel Lopez, and 19th, Chris Banks. And then in 20th, we have the one, the only, Ricardo Soa Santos.
And it's fantastic. The qualifying results are kept a lot longer on the screen for us now. We're going to get ready for the first of our sprint races this evening.
What are we expecting, Biggles, for the first sprint race here this evening?
I'd expect, yeah. Well, Ian
pulled that starting on pole position.
Yes, he's pulled that banker in there by 7 thousandths of a second on Alex,
wow,
right towards the dying stages of the qualifying.
I didn't think he could finish that one, but Ian Deaney up into pole position ahead of Alex Everett. I didn't see that one, but that is big for Ian Deaney. as we have in our warm-up. Biggles, I didn't notice that. I don't know when that changed, but I have a feeling, yeah, that changed right at the dying stages when I was reading through it. I'm just looking back at it right now. We had the chance to finish that lap off that we were looking at, and we said he's going to get nowhere close to that, but he jumped him right at the dying stages of qualifying there, and he jumped him by 7 thousandths of a second. So Alex Everitt, once again, Biggles, denied from a pole position.
Absolutely impressive, wasn't it? Absolutely impressive. And you were saying, what do you expect from this race? Well, I expect the fact that both Alex and Ian are going to be going at it tooth and nail into the first couple of corners. That's what I would be expecting.
And maybe, if they do have a little touch, our championship leader could come through. As we look now, Ian Deeney, where is he now gone to? Because I have a feeling this is all over the place now. Because Alex Everitt is back in provisional pole position. Or is this the one you pulled up before Ian Deeney was on pole? I think that's the case.
Yes, that is correct. It's been kind of replaced on that one because it doesn't show him on that pole position there. But that's what the other.
No, that's what I said. That's how, to the dying end of qualifying, he did pip him. Of course, he had to come, as you can see here, from P4, 3.5 cents back, which is big from Ian Deeney. But yeah, he pulled that one out of the back, and Alex Everitt, once again, Biggles, denied from a pole position here. He has 4 races left now to try and get that car into pole position at least once. Of course, we know last season he was mighty in qualifying, mighty. Over 1 lap was Nenad Vladisavljevic as well. Top right-hand corner. Don't forget at the end of this evening to vote your Apex Tracks driver of the day, because he will receive a prize, and we do need your help for that. So keep that in mind. At the end of the broadcast, we will be asking you again about that. You can see it top right, the Apex Tracks driver of the day.
Absolutely beautiful, those Apex Tracks. Just about every race driver I know on the planet has one of them on their walls. I'm probably the only person that doesn't. I need to get one, but we're going to be getting ready for the race to start first of our sprint races. So this is going to be very, very interesting to see these cars around this track for the very first time this season. You did get it correct out there. Nenad said yes. So he did well.
Okay, good. He's one of my heroes, to be honest, because the way he races, it's inspiring. Let's say it like that. And yeah, like we said many times, Biggles, big ups to him for still racing with the situation that he has.
And he's going to be joining along tonight to watch us. Probably wondering where he would be in that situation. Probably up the top, battling with the likes of Ian and Alex.
Here we go, Biggles. The 5 red lights are going to be coming on here at Nogaro. And in a second, they're going to go off, and then we're away. It's green here for race 1 in the south of France at Nogaro. Alex Everitt does have a good getaway and does immediately cover up his championship rival Fabio Gil behind him. Can he make that move into turn 2? No, not really. Ian Deeney here then has to fend him off now. He started ahead, 7 thousandths was the gap. Now he has got the jump off the starting line, and now he just needs to keep that car ahead of Alex Everitt. Fabio Gil, though, still in P3, a little bit further back. Neil Gray fighting James Lee for P4 and 5. This is the battle we're looking at right now. Lee Horne, though, the man trying to car through the field now, trying to overtake Neil Crave and trying to get up into P5. But James Lee, though, overtook him again, so Lee Horne back down to P6. A little bit further up, though. Alex Everitt going to try and make that move work on Ian Deeney down the inside. Makes that launch. Can Ian Deeney let it hang around the outside to try and keep ahead of Alex Everitt? He's still there, though. He has the inside for the next left-hander. But Alex Everitt wants this desperately. Wants this first position. Needs it, but doesn't get it. Hassel's got in back behind Ian Deeney once again. And Biggles, we're cleaning through the first corners. And I think we can expect kind of a one-by-one fest now through this last sector.
Wow, well, that's absolutely thrilling, isn't it? Yeah, but Alex going to be putting that pressure on Ian big time. Those main straightaways, of course, really give you an opportunity. They're going to be coming up to another one soon. Get that slipstream in there, and here we go. There is your straightaway.
There's Alex Everitt.
Number 2.
Try and overtake him. Alex Everitt, can he do it on this straightaway? Not really. Ian Deeney defends the inside. Really well done there from Ian Deeney. That was lap 1 already. That's how quick it goes here with Crest Autosports, with the Crest Autosport World Touring Car Challenge Season 4 here with us. And a good exit there for Alex Everitt. Different lines though through there. Alex Everitt always playing it on the exit, it seems like. The left-handed though. James Lee, look at this man defending from Lee Horne behind him in P5. Neil Crave though has dropped back a little bit. If I look, no, Geoff Perkins right up the chuff of Neil Crave. If we could go back to that battle real quickly. There we have it, Geoff Perkins in P7 trying to overtake Neil Crave. That's a battle to look at. Down the inside he takes a look, I think a little bit too far back though, but around the outside, look a little bit further back. Let's look down the rear wing of Neil Crave. That is Robert Stolen trying to make that pass on Geoff Perkins. Can he do so is the question. Not this time round. He's looking left, right, and center, but can't find a way past right now. Geoff Perkins was busy with trying to attack Neil Crave ahead of him, but had to turn the attack into defense to fend off Robert Stoughton. Now he keeps it P7, P8 though, right at the draft. Stephen McGriffler right up behind. Great Deacon here. Yeah, if I pronounce that correctly, yes I do, Deacon. I don't know why I'm struggling all of a sudden with that name, because I pronounced it correctly last season as well. Of course, he's one of the returning drivers here this season. But Stephen the Griffler looked to be struggling a little bit, but now has found this drive out of that last corner. And into turn 1, can he dive down the inside? Not really a hard braking throw, Biggles, to try and outbrake someone. So it is difficult to try and overtake at that point. All onto the grass. There goes Stephen the Griffler. But yeah, difficult to try and overtake here. It's literally one by one. James Lee here tries to force the move on Fabio Gil, the championship leader, though. Forced down a position, and it's nothing of attacking Alex Everitt ahead of him. It is going down a position. James Lee, a beautiful comeback there from him, or a beautiful cutback there from him. And he's now even under attack from Lee Horne as well. Fabio Gil dropping down the order, faster than a stone in the ocean there. Just to get the punts out of the way. I've learned that from our big boss James. Thank you for letting me that. But yeah, Alex Everitt now has made that move past Ian Deeney for the lead. And he can now try and create a little bit of a gap back to Ian Deeney. But Biggles, what a first couple of opening laps those were.
This is a late dive down the inside there from Ian. And James has gone really deep there in the lane. James may very well lose his position to Fabio Gil. Yes, he has. Just like that. Lee Horne down now in P5. One little mistake, it's all it takes.
Well, if you look at how close the drivers are here this evening, one mistake can put you down from P2, basically down to P4 or P5. That is how close it is. And Lee Horne going to try and overtake once again on James Lee ahead of him. Lee Horne, though, it's kind of his hit and miss at the moment in this race, because he does seem to be struggling sometimes, but he has moments that are really promising. And which I find really promising though, Biggles, is the fact that James Lee is up in P4 with the only VW STI, if I pronounce that correctly. I always forget those last. GTI it is, of course it is, the Volkswagen GTI. So the only Volkswagen in the field, but at the moment doing really well in that car, up in P4. Yeah,
so Alex and Ian, still Alex is maybe trying to build a little bit of a gap there. It's not that massive just yet. And you see Fabio Gil and James Lee at the moment are pretty close on the track, so they're battling it out between the Hyundai and the Volkswagen. And King Carrot out there said, let's go Neil and Fraser. Well, Neil, currently at the moment, Neil Crave there is currently running a P5. Just in that little bit of, they're starting to spread out a little bit with about 8 minutes to go.
Well, if I look at this, Biggles, it doesn't seem to be spreading out at all. The drivers are still, or the top 10, I think, still covered within one shot. And I think that's always a good, well, point of view to take a look at if you want to know how close it is. The top 5, though, always in this league, apart from, of course, the last week, the 50-minute race, always captured usually within one shot. That's how close it usually is around here. You can see in our rearview mirror that we're looking on board with James Lee now. Neil Crave is trying to force his way through, trying to drive different lines to that Volkswagen GTI. Alex Everett, though, at the front of the field, not creating as big of a gap as I would have expected him to. Ian Deeney, though, can keep up with him. Here's the gap that we have. The number 69, Ian Deeney, right behind us in the slipstream, gaining, but not quite able to gain enough for him to try and make that pass. And he's back down, or he slots back into his position.
There's an overtake further back
here.
here.
To make that move as we look now, Jurgen Madby Peterson is going to try and make that move around the outside of Alex Ward. Alex Ward, of course, in the Cupra. We're the only Cupras in this field, only I think 4 Cupras here, less than last season. Of course, with the bigger choice of a car field now, the Cupras have got a little bit less. Down the inside, though, a beautiful line here from Paul Hans in the Opel on, I think that is
Chris
the Audi
Banks.
of, well,
Chris Banks. It was the Audi Chris Banks.
Yeah, Chris Banks, that is. Well, James Lee is the one we're looking at right now. And this gap closer than it has ever been right now. Can he overtake Fabio Gil? The thing is, Fabio Gil, though, he got back from the fact that James Lee overtook him down the inside, now trying to drive a different line, forcing the issue. Down the inside, there is contact between the two. This is rubbing and racing, like Biggles always loves to say. Down the inside goes Fabio Gil again. He's now going to squeeze him out on the exit. Leaves him no room to fight with. And that's now going to invite Lee Horne through to try and attack James Lee. This is going to give Fabio Gil a little bit of breathing space, though. But not too much. Look at that then. We're looking back from Fabio Gil. Oh, disappearing there for a second. Was James Lee, has he reset back to the pit lane?
Yes, it looks
That
like...
could well be the case. James Lee has reset back to the pit lane. I think that's what happened. But yeah, he's down into 20th now. Out of it all. And that has now allowed Neil Crave up 1 position. Lee Horne up 1 position as well. Basically everyone behind that, and Fabio Gil with a little bit of a bigger gap as well. Alex Everett with a little bit of a bigger gap at the front of the field as well. Now half a second, that is. Goldsmith, though, still currently under attack from the man behind him, Paul Hans, in 17 and 18. That Opel, though, for Paul Hans doesn't seem to be handling as well as... Oh, into the back of the man out of him, Paul Schmidt, he goes. Brakes a little bit too late, I think. Misjudged his braking zone, but not as quick as the VW in the hands of James Lee, although James Lee now has set back.
Not sure how it's going to be handling now after it might have a bit of a front bent fender. There's Roy and battling up the road there of Gabriel Lopez. Craig Deacon has been tucked up behind Nigel here for a while as well, back in P11, P12. He's definitely trying to find a way around.
Can he find a way past this question?
Lincoln Co, but
I think if I take a look at the car model, he is using the Hyundai Elantra, the newer version of that car. Because that is a little bit longer, though. I think the man in P3 right now, Fabio Gil, is using the Hyundai i30 N. So that's the older version as far as I know of the car. I hope I got that correctly. If not, I look like an absolute clown right now. But yeah, I think that is the case. Alex Everett, though, this is the gap back down to Ian Deeney. Oh, look at this then, Lee Horne. He's going to get past Fabio Gil. The thing with Fabio Gil is he's been defending really well this evening from Lee Horne, gaining now on the guys ahead of him in P2, Ian Deeney. I don't think that Lee Horne wants to attack too much here if they can both creep up to the back of Ian Deeney. If not, of course, on the last lap, Lee Horne will try and probably go for an all-nothing move. But Fabio Gil not losing too much points right now to Alex Everett. So, well, he's limited the damage that Alex Everett can do to him right now.
I believe so. Just a question out there from Nina, if you want to confirm the ballast, please. I was asking him for the first 3 drivers of the ballast currently at the moment, so we're still seeing this battle brewing behind Fabio.
Well, the ballast at the moment, as we know it from last season as well, will be as follows. The ballast ballast will be done as follows. Championship top 8 will get 40 kilograms, Daan in 5 increments in qualifying. That will be the exact same in race 1, but in race 2 we will switch to the qualifying top 8, who will get 40 kilograms and then down in 5 increments as well, and that is exactly the same for race 3.
Rodrigo Portugal,
here,
yes.
Rodrigo Portugal on, I think that is Roy Plummer, not Gabriel Lopez, that is Roy Plummer, who's gone down the inside of up into P15. He goes now. Gabriel Lopez is the next target ahead of him as we look back. From the field, Lee Horne trying to attack now. Man ahead of him, Fabio Gil. Neil Graves, though, has lost that position to Lee Horne. So Lee Horne now the man behind Fabio Gil. So once again has to maybe defend a little bit differently to the man behind him, Lee Horne, because not every driver attacks the same way as they do.
You are correct. He's on Atlanta, Mr. King. As we're riding on board with him, looking over the rear wing, and this is that pack, of course, this is that battle currently for P3, exactly where this man is. Ian's going to try to put massive amount of pressure, you can see further up the road there, on Alex, because you're in the dying stages of our first sprint race now, you can see, so any opportunity you want to get it done, probably this is the lap too. There's Jeff as well, side by side, down this massive long straightaway. That's probably be at least a kilometer and change.
Well, Geoff Burkes, can he make that way past? He has the Cupra Leon ahead of him, and the thing with those Cupras is they're quite fast down the straights from what I've heard the drivers say, and the Alphas are strong through the corners. Now you have a lot of tight and twisty sections here. I think sector 3 and sector 1 are a good example of that. But the thing is, Biggles, you can't really pass easily in the corners, or you can't really pass as easy in the corners as you can in the straight. So which of the two would you rather have? A car that's faster in the straights or a car that's faster in the corners?
That's a good question. Just depends on your driving style, really. It could be it. I think that's pretty much it. Alex probably should be able to hold off Ian, but pending he doesn't make any mistakes, and usually Alex doesn't when he's leading a race.
Well, we're on to the last lap of the race now, so he only has to do this for one more lap, and he knows that. Alex will know that he only has to do it for one more lap now. Lee Horne, though, still on the back of Fabio Gil. Fabio Gil, though, has coped with the pressure for quite some time now. Fabio Gil, we know he's the championship leader for a reason. He can cope with that pressure, and he's going to try and go for that with one more lap. Like Alex Everett is doing. Alex Everett is doing that perfectly fine. 6/10 is the gap now, down to Ian Deeney. A little bit further back, we have the battle, I think, between Nigel Stock and Stephen de Graveler. Stephen de Graveler, though, a really good job from him up into P10 right now. He's actually just overtaken him, so we'll stay with Alex Everett here for the last couple of corners of this track. What a first race it has been, Biggles. Like always, we're used to action with these guys. Like always, we're used to big action, and we got it again this evening here at Circuit de Nogaro, Paul Armagnac. That's that correctly. 3.6 kilometers long. It wasn't long enough for Ian Deeney to try and make that pass on Alex Everett. Alex Everett has 2 more rides to go. 1 more ride, 1 more left. And Alex Everett will come through to win in race 1 here at the Circuit de Nogaro, Paul Armagnac. By the end of this evening, I will have mastered that name. Neil Graves, though, in P5 behind Lee Horne. Fabio Gil, our championship leader, coming through in P3. So a good job from him there, defending against the man who won this race, Alex Everett, and Ian Deeney, who is really quick in that Alfa Romeo as well. His teammate Geoff Burkes down in P6 in the Alfa Romeo. The only 2 Alfa Romeos. But yeah, it's to know what has happened exactly to James Lee there in P20, because he was looking good for a podium finish maybe here, Biggles. So I'll be interested to know what exactly happened to him.
It must have been some technical information or something that's caused an issue, because I can't even see his car. But there's those results if you'd like to go through them again, please.
Of course.
corners. I like to go through them.
There we go then. Alex Everitt is our winner. The fastest lap goes to Ian Deeney, the man in P2, with a 132.741. In P3 though, it's Fabio Gil ahead of Lee Horne. P5 for Neil Crave, Jeff Burke is 6, Robert Stoltz in P7, Jurgen Matty Peterson P8, P9 Alex Ward, Stephen the Gravelayer P10, Nigel Stock P11, P12 Craig Deakin, P13 Ricardo Pessoa Santos, Rodrigo Portugal in P14, Roy Plummer P15, Gabriel Lopez P16, Paul Hans P17, Carl Smith P18. Then in P19 we have, oh, that just changed over, Banks we have there, and then in 20th I think it was James Lee.
Yeah, I'll just pull it up for you right now.
There we go. Well, Banks in P19 and, like I said, James Lee in P20. All 20 drivers in one shot. So we, for once, have the full grid in one race result. We don't normally usually see that, but we've got to switch over to the next session for race 2. So stick with us here and don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back with you. Of us, Ian Deeney, we carry it around the outside, push it to the inside. Ian Deeney going to try and carry around the outside of Aqua Minerale, and he's ahead once again. So Alex Everitt, his progression through the field stopped a little bit there by Ian Deeney. Not letting it through as easily as... Oh, that's a touch there between Ricardo Pessoa Santos and Alex Ward. Or from Pedro Santos. That was his lie, but that allowed Jeff Perkins to try and maybe send it down the inside. Not able to get close enough though. Now look at this then, side by side of this. Alex Everitt now on the inside of Ian Deeney. He's going to be pushed to the inside. Breaks later. Latest of the latest breakers. Pushes him wide to the outside. And now Alex Everitt is finally ahead. Does what Ian Deeney did to him last lap. And he can now go and chase down Jurgen Matthew Peterson ahead of him in the Lincoln Co as well. He might be a little bit more cooperative. Look at this then, a battle for the lead. Ross Butcher under attack from Pedro Santos into the Variante Alta. The inside for the first part, outside for the second part. Is he going to lose that position? Yes, he is. Can't slot in front of him, but lucky for him, he can slot in behind Ross Butcher once again.
Brewing at the front. Pedro Santos trying to get past Mr. Rock Butcher.
Is he going to be able to make that pass stick this time around? Not quite.
Oh, there it is again.
Oh, a battle for the lead. Ross Butcher now on the outside. Pedro Santos is going to try and make this pass stick on the inside. Can he do so? Yes, he can. It's side by side now, coming onto the main straight through Variante Bassa, where of course we have that little bit of chicane for the moto. There we go, past it on the right hand side of the screen right now. But Pedro Santos is ahead. Ross Butcher now side by side with Geoff Perkins. 4 minutes and spared to go now. 4 minutes exactly into the Variante Alta. Gets a good exit out of there. Now he can try and go up the inside of Geoff Perkins. You can see just champion mentality, just knows where to put his car, knows when to play on the exit. Does that beautifully here. Has the outside for the first spot, a little bit of contact. Down the inside, actually shoots wide. And is lucky that he doesn't collect Pedro Santos on the way in. Butcher up to the lead once again. Pedro Santos trying to make that pass stick. Was in the lead last lap, but under pressure, cracked a little bit, made that mistake. And now he's going to try and have to go around the outside of Variante Tamburello once again. The outside for the first part, not quite able to stick it around the outside. Alex Everitt now going to try and get that cut back to the inside of Geoff Perkins. Defending the inside is Ross Butcher. Lets everyone pause. Once again, look at this, Alex Everitt now involved in this as well. He's finally gone through again. And Geoff, the Aqua Minerale, what was a touch there between Alex Everitt and Pedro Santos around the outside. He's going to have to try and carry it. That corner does lend itself to do so. But Alex Everitt is going to do it on track. Probably is Geoff Perkins going to make it 3 wide into Variante Alta. Not a corner to go 3 wide into.
No.
But Alex Everitt does manage to get through cleanly and is now up into P1. On the inside of Pedro Santos, not quite able to get close enough. And Alex Everitt is going to come through victorious in race 1 here this evening, and the first race of season 4 of the Crest Autosport World Touring Car Challenge. Alex Everitt wins ahead of Pedro Santos.
Well, welcome back, everybody. That was a bit of a cracker of a race that you'd expect. We're going to have more of them. That's race 1 that's over and dusted. And there it is, Alex and Ian battle. Of course, Ian taking out that fastest lap. And, of course, pulling off that miracle. The 9,000ths of a second. Pole position time, remember?
I think it was 7.
7,000ths of a second. You were right, yes. My apologies about that.
Even closer, Biggles, and I think it has been that close in the race as well. I think if Ian Deeney could have kept ahead of Alex, he would have been able to defend. Or I think if Ian Deeney would have defended a little bit better, Alex Everitt wouldn't have found a way past Ian. So I think it's a good thing for Ian. But well, now the real deal comes, because now we have the reversed grid. Also, Biggles, I think you have something to tell everyone.
Oh, to tell everybody about the like and subscribe?
Yes.
Absolutely, please do that. I just liked myself. See you later, Nenad. He has to go and to another race, so thank you very much for tuning in, my friend. So there it is at the moment. So we're going to have our grid based on the qualifying results. Sorry, a grid based on race 1, of course, reversed top 10, as you had mentioned. They're just on a practice session at the moment, so we will go down to the track and check out some of the practices. Does any information did we find out about the driver that disconnected just before, or not?
Was it a disconnect, or did he just
I think
back to the pit lane?
Yeah, back to the pit lane, but it pulled up something, and I went to his car quickly, and it was showing a weird screen, so that to me sounds like there's something technical. And of course, don't forget, once again, to remember your driver of the day. It's sponsored by Apex Tracks. We had our first race, and then, so that obviously you got 3 of these races, so that's the ones you got to think about, all 3 overall for the weekend race, and then that will determine who you think would be your driver of the day. Your votes out there, please. But of course, we still have more racing to go first before we conclude that.
Well, Biggles, I think we can go back to what you were just showing, the screen for the race as well, because as you can see on there, there is a reversed top 10 from the race 1 result. So that means that Alex Everitt will be starting 10th behind Ian Deeney. Ian Deeney will starting behind Fabio Gil, and starting in pole position will be Steven de Grevelier. Everyone behind Steven de Grevelier will be starting in the position where they finished. So that means that Nigel Stock will be starting in 11th. 12th, Craig Deacon. 13th, Ricardo Pessoa Santos. 14th, Rodrigo Portugal. 15th, Rob Plummer. 16th, Gabriel Lopez. 17th, Paul Hans. 18th, Colt Smith. Banks in 19th. And if I quickly take a look at his first man, Chris Banks. I forgot his first name. Sorry there, Chris. But Chris Banks in 19th and James Lee in the VW GTI in 20th. Then starting in 10th, it's starting in 10th, it will be Alex Everitt. 9th, Ian Deeney. 8th, Fabio Gil. 7th will be Lee Horne. 6th, Neil Cray. 5th, Geoff Perkins. 4th, Robert Stoughton. 3rd, Jurgen Mazzy Peterson. 2nd, Alex Ward. And 1st will be starting the one and only man from Belgium, Steven de Grevelier.
De Grevelier. Steve, that's going to be interesting because, to be honest, Steven has some pace and he's going to have the ability to be able to lead that race. He lead into hopefully first corner and then kind of maybe run away with it, but we haven't seen anybody just yet run away from the field. We saw the first two, of course, drivers before that were kind of pulling a little bit of a gap towards the end of Ian and Alex. This is the practice session that's over in about 40 seconds right now. Not many people actually did come out and put some laps in for the practice. Only 4 of them. I think most drivers are just sit there to have a bit of a relaxer, a bit of a stretch, and get ready for another 15 minutes of action-packed wheel-to-wheel racing, courtesy of Apex
Tracks. Which needs to happen from time to time, let's be fair, Biggles.
Sorry, sir?
Which needs to happen from time to time. You can't just, especially in these sprint races, you need to be on it for 15 minutes long, and longer endurance races, of course, the first stint is always more tiring than your second. And that's because you have to be on it at that point. You have to be pushing, have to try and get away. But yeah, they have to be absolutely on it, on full concentration mode for 15 minutes. So to take a little bit of time off, it's not too bad at all here, I think, for the drivers. And I think it could be quite useful to fuel up and get yourself ready for the start of race 2.
Of course, they've got the D's in here. That is, they're going to be now pulling the cars out of the garage and putting it into the slot positions, exactly the grid positions. Yes, the Dan and the Dean.
The Dan and the Dean. But yeah, it's the usual do here on Crest Autosport. Delivering you the best of action from the Crest Autosport here on the Thursday evening or morning, afternoon or night, wherever you may be in the world. So first of all, wherever you may be, thank you for joining in. Let us know what time it is in the chat where you live right now, because it would be, well, I would love to see where everyone is kind of from, or which times that everyone is coming from, because I know that for Biggles it is quite early in the morning right now.
No, it's not. It's 3:50 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, there we go. The drivers are out on track. I got that completely wrong. But there we go. The lights are going to be green, green, green for in just a moment time. And a 3, a 2, a 1. And there we go. Green, green, green for the second race here in the south of France. And Steven de Grevelier gets a really good start ahead of Alex Ward. Slots in ahead of him. Steven de Grevelier, can he keep it though a little bit further back? There's Jurgen Mazzy Peterson almost pushing Robert Stoughton off track. Robert Stoughton now has his nose ahead and is actually ahead. So, well, does that move or keeps that move around the outside? Beautiful move there from Robert Stoughton. Now immediately attacking the man ahead of him is Alex Ward. Can he keep that around the outside? A second move around the outside for Robert Stoughton. Is it possible? And for the moment, it is not. But Robert Stoughton there what a start from him, Biggles.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. He's getting it done. Of course, this midfield battle is still occurring down the back here of the other one. So you got Alex and Ian there, and just above them is Fabio Gil. Now, Fabio, once again, lead the championship because of consistency and points. He doesn't have to win races. You just have to be consistently getting on the podium. And he's got a bit of a challenge, of course, from Alex right there up on the inside. So I think Alex is
Alex has that one.
Yeah,
there we go. Alex has it. Alex has that one. That is up into P8 for Alex Everitt, down into P9 for Fabio Gil. Now, Alex Everitt has to watch out that Fabio's not going to come back at him at some point. Because, of course, coming through the traffic, you're vulnerable, Biggles, because you're having your eyes, facing front. Oh, big puff of smoke there on the inside of the second to last turn. On the outside as well, drivers having a little bit of off-track excursions, which is even the grey flare at the end of lap 1, Biggles, still at the front of the field.
Yeah, that's what I said. I think the Belgium driver will be able to hold it off, but he's on a massive attack right now from Alex Ward. There was a message that popped up really quickly, I believe there for a second, that was something about a drive-through penalty that we had at the start of the race too. Not quite sure who gets that drive-through penalty.
Who might that be? Carl Smith, maybe? I don't see anyone into the pit lane at the moment, so I don't know what that could be for Carl Smith. Yeah, I think he's into the pit lane. I think if we could take a look at Carl Smith for a second. Yep. Right down at the bottom of the field. There he is, coming out of the pit lane. There we have our man who got the drive-through for possibly, Biggles, a jump start.
We're going to have a 3 into 1 corner here.
Is that gonna work? That's way too late from Robert Stoughton, I think that is. Yes, it is. And, well, demotes him down into P8 right now. Fabio Gil still behind this all, though. Still biding his time. Maybe the best of it, because Alex getting in the wars here with Robert Stoughton. And this could get naughty here if they don't watch out here. 3 into 1 once again. Alex Everitt once again losing a position, but James Lee seems to be back in it, and he seems to be back in P9 already.
And this is bringing everybody into play. James Lee, Fabio Gil. This is the battle you can see that's brewing between all the different manufacturers as well. It's in as liveries. But they're going for a tooth and nail. Once again, this is actually backing them up. And it's allowing a little bit more space there from Stephen and Alex up the road. You can see that too. And ooh, they're continuing. So.
Well, James Lee, we saw him in the last race. He was really, really strong in that VW GTI. The people don't know what I mean by VW. It's Volkswagen. It's just a shorter say for Volkswagen. Who's that going wide there? Is that Alex Ward?
That's Alex, yeah. He was going almost side by side.
Even the Graveler, but that didn't really work, it seems like. Look at behind that, though. Jurgen and Mads B. Peterson coming through to maybe attack Alex Ward. And after that, overtake the man who's currently leading this race. He has been at the front of the field now for 4 minutes long. Can he keep it there for 11 more minutes? And a little bit more for that last lap.
I think Alex going down the inside here too after that long straightaway into turn 7.
Can Fabio go with him? The answer to that question is no, he can't. Has to slot in behind James Lee. James Lee himself, though, in contact with Alex Everitt. This is what I said. This is what Alex Everitt doesn't want to get into. Look at who's now up his inside. Fabio Gil gets around the outside. Can he keep the car there? Yes, he can. He has to give him room now. The inside is for Fabio Gil on the left hand, and that is coming up. But Fabio Gil, though, already having to slot in behind the man ahead of him, Alex Everitt, before they actually get to the left.
There's another run on Stevie at the moment. And you can see Alex Ward's really been pushing, but Stevens parking that car in the right places, making it very difficult.
Stevie now. Not really. I thought he had the outside for the first turn, so the inside for the second one. Look at that, though. Lee Horne behind that, coming through. Once again in race 2, looking really good. Oh, Neil Griffith, a bit of a slide on. Almost jinxed it there for Lee Horne. Robert Stoughton, though, also really good. Oh, a touch there as well. It's all kicking off here in race 2, a little bit further back as well. With, I think, James Lee and Robert Stoughton and Jeff Perkins. It's all kicking off here, Biggles. And the front of the field is still Stephen the Graveler leading the way. And if they keep battling like this, it will be Stephen the Graveler who in the end will keep leading this race. We're down to 9 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock right now. And we're almost halfway through this race. Still Stephen the Gravelayer in the lead. Can he keep it there, do you think, James? Oh, James. Biggles, come on.
Yeah. I think it maybe this is the thing too, because this extreme wheel-to-wheel is also burning through those tires. Remember that Alex had mentioned before, saying this track is punishing on that. And, well, there is Alex Ward at the moment being taken by Jorgen, perhaps, there. The Norwegian driver, sorry, the Danish driver.
So yeah, I didn't even think about that, but it's going to be a battle of just keeping the tires alive. And are they teammates though? I think they are. I think Stephen the Gravelayer and Jürgen Madsby Peterson are teammates. Is he going to let Jürgen Madsby Peterson pass though, or is Jürgen Madsby Peterson going to be his defense? Oh, and that's a spin for Jürgen. And that completes our answer. There, Alex Ward also off the track with him as well. Lee Horne, well now into P2. And a lot of drivers will say thank you to that, because that's not what they would have wanted. Alex Everitt now passed Alex Ward as well. But Stephen the Gravelayer, throughout all of this, is still in the lead of this race. But now look at the man who he has behind him, Lee Horne. His defense all of a sudden got a lot harder.
Yeah, wow. Just like that, in the space of a corner, you see positions all over the place. So Alex is now in the P7. And I do have to feel for Alex Ward, didn't I? As he's now right outside that top 3. And there's a battle still brewing, of course, as Robert Sultan.
Oh, 3-2-1 doesn't go, guys. A little bit late on the brakes for Robert Stoughton. He's been, like you said, really quick here, Biggles. And in third, it's James Lee right now, once again in the VW GTI. And hopefully it doesn't disconnect this time round. Hopefully it doesn't disconnect. 1.1 seconds the gap to Lee Horne. I think if we go to Lee Horne is the one who we're looking at right now. He is so close to the back of Stephen the Gravelayer's car. And I think Biggles, as much as I would love Stephen the Gravelayer winning this race, I think it's going to be a matter of time before Lee Horne is going to get past here.
We'll see. Stevie's actually a very good defensive driver. So
the Belgian Minister of Defense.
Yeah, and well, 6 minutes of pressure is going to have to hold it off for just under 7 minutes, and it might not be enough time.
Oh, there we go, down the inside, Lee Horne. All of a sudden, springs a surprise attack on him. Stephen, though, has the inside, is going to push him wide and keeps that position. So it's not over yet, as we have Alexander Nakachenko in the chat as well. One of course, our Ukrainian drivers last season who isn't here. Alexander, welcome to the stream. Hope you're enjoying it, but Stephen the Gravelayer not giving up easily here on Lee Horne. He's giving him a real good fight for his money.
And further back, those fights are resuming too with Robert, Jeff. But Lee Horne, of course, still trying it. Alex Ward and Fabio Gil here. Look at this side-by-side action. That's further back there, P8 and P7. But we will have to go back up to the leader. This one, I think Stevie's going to be getting a bit of a tow soon. We'll just see if there's an overtake set up on the inside here first.
Yeah, Stevie's done it. Oh, Stevie dropping all the way down the order.
Yeah, there
he is, Stephen around the outside in the number 68. What has happened to Stephen? No.
That's an off track, I think, somewhere along the line there. That means that Lee Horne now's in the leader's race, but there's James Lee. So this is definitely coming down a lot closer, I think, at the front end. That's 5 cars, and you have a bit of a gap back to Alex, but I wouldn't be surprised if Alex doesn't pull that 2-second gap in by the time the 5 minutes expires.
Well, Alexander, of course, has the pressure from Alex Ward behind him as well. Of course, behind Alex Ward is his main rival, Fabio Gil, at the moment in the championship. So that could be massive as well. Don't, of course, ride him out. He is the championship leader for a reason. Fabio Gil, though, can he overtake Alex Ward? That's going to be vital, because ahead of him is the man who he needs to be, well, ahead of, and that is Alex Everitt. Geoff Perkins in P4, also doing a really good job there in that Alfa Romeo. But look at this there, James Lee for the lead in the VW GTI. The VW GTI hasn't led yet here in the Crest Autosport series, or the Crest Autosport World Touring Car Challenge. Can James Lee make that a first for the VW GTI? Let's hope so, Biggles. Let's hope so.
Ooh, this is going to be a late send. No, so we're on board with Jeffrey then before. And Alex has got that gap down to 1.6 now. But, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not with this party soon. He's really going to bank it. Got to hit that loud pedal a little louder.
Still has 4 minutes left, though, or to try and catch up and overtake, but I don't think Alex is going to get up into P1, although Alex is, we know that Alex is really quick, but I don't think he's that quick. Neil Crazer has to watch out. He tried it down the inside, was James Lee, not able to do it quite I think as quick as he wanted it to, but Geoff Perkins in third, lurking as well, lurking to see if he can try and maybe spring the surprise attack on James Lee whilst he's not expecting it, and whilst he's maybe focused on attacking Lee Horne, because that could still, well, that is still a possibility here that Geoff Perkins overtakes maybe both of them if he has a good run out of maybe the last corner.
Well, you never know. We saw a couple of cars go off track and have a couple of spins before. And there's Fabio. And there's Alex. Fabio's gone wide.
Really wide.
Oh, no, that's unfortunate because that's just allowed Alex Everitt to go through there. Alex Ward to go through.
Well, sadly, we don't have any replays here in...
race room?
In this game. Yeah, in race room. But yeah, the thing is, Biggles, I think that was a little bit of contact there with Alex Everett. Pushed him maybe a little bit wide. But Rubbing is racing and he put himself on the outside. He put himself on the penalty spot. And Alex Everett took use of that and he scored the open goal. Fabio Gil now in P9 looking to attack now. Just look to at least gather some positions back. Geoff Perkins, though, look at this then, attacking James Lee. Can he keep it there? Yes, he can. He's now going to push him out wide. This is well within the reaches of Rubbing is racing. Maybe a little bit too much Rubbing Biggles here, but Geoff Perkins still can't get past James Lee. And at this point, I would say the VW GTI doesn't really look to be that bad of a car.
Here's a battle further back with Paul Hans there and Steven. And oh, who's that? Was that Steven off into the grass again? Oh no!
I think it is.
Yeah. Do you think he's absolutely cooked his tyres because he had that off-track excursion before? We kind of didn't exactly see what happened, Steven, unless that was probably around that corner where we'd make that mistake, or if he made a mistake, or if he was pushed. There's a lot of cars that were bunched up together, but obviously has lost the lead of this race and is now down in P15. Lee Horne, of course, is the one in the lead. There's got James Lee and there's Jeff. So their battle. Of course, Alex Ward further up there. He's still going at tooth and nail with Nigel and Fabio Gil. So he expects an off-track excursion as well, too. That's going to bring Fabio perhaps into play. You can see now.
Well, Lee Horne, with 1 minute to go, is, I think, now going to start the final lap. In just a few seconds time now we have a right-hander and a left-hander to go, and then we get to the end of the track. Once again we turn on to a new lap, to the last lap of this race to Alex Ward. Can he keep ahead of Fabio Gil? And well, can he overtake maybe Nigel Stock into the last lap? Alex Ward has done quite a lot, but Fabio Gil wants to try and salvage something from it. He did have a little touch there with Alex Ward. Alex Ward did go a little bit sideways, but of course these being front-wheel driven cars, he did manage to gather himself back up.
And look at the gap now that Lee Horne's got, so I think that's no problem. And it's more about who wants that P2 between Jeff and Mr. Lee. But Lee's been doing some very good defense, but now it's time to throw everything at it, I think, into the corner. And as I say, risking it for the biscuit. Now, time. Here it is. He's even given us a little flashed indication, probably to be aware that we are watching you. I saw somebody in the crowd there taking some flashes going off to him here at the track. So
photos, maybe.
Yeah, they're excited.
Yeah, I have to ask him. Maybe he can send us some of the scenic photos. But James Lee in that VW GTI making it work. And well, let's say Biggles, he's really, really quick in that car. One more right turn to go. And another one coming up right now for Lee Horne, but he's been dominant here in race 2 after the fact that he basically got given P1 by Steven the Gravelayer going off track. One more ride to go. And then we have one more left. And then it will be Lee Horne who will come through to win race 2 ahead of James Lee and Geoff Perkis, who, well, on hundredths of a second doesn't take P2 ahead of Robert Stoughton. Alex Everitt in P5. A really good race there for him. Gains points on the championship leader Fabio Gil, who finished in P8. Nigel Stock P6, Alex Ward P7. And Jurgen Matthew Peterson in P9. Neil Crave in P10, Stephen the Gravelayer P11. And for the rest, I think we'll wait until the result is up for us on screen. Biggles, once again, an amazing race.
It is. I wish if I was not feeling under the weather, I'd be screaming at you to call it, because it would be super. It's exciting, trust me. I'm sitting there waving my hands around in the air with anticipation. We still have one more to go, of course.
Well, one more 20-minute race, so even longer to enjoy this, Biggles. So yeah, looking forward to race 3, of course. Do keep in mind that we have to go to another session in between those two, so we'll do that after the results have come up on screen. But yeah, I think someone is at least a lap behind, so Lee Horne is going to have to wait a little bit longer here.
Yeah.
For us to get the results up on.
So Alexander, as you said, in the chat there, he was saying obviously just greetings from Ukraine. We'll read that in a second as well. We go those results.
There we go. Here are the results then. Lee Horne, like I said, finishes in first out of James Lee. Then Geoff Perkis P3, P4, Robert Stoughton P5, Alex Everitt P6, Nigel Stock, Alex Ward P7, Fabio Gil, a championship leader in P8, so once again losing points to Alex Everitt. Jurgen Matthew Peterson in P9, P10 for Neil Crave, Stephen the Gravelayer P11 after leading this race for quite a while. Ian Deeney in P12, Craig Deacon P13, Paul Hams P14, Roy Plummer P15, 16 Gabriel Lopez, 17 Rodrigo Portugal, Chris Banks, P18, P19 Ricardo Pessoa Santos, and P20 Carl Smith. Those were the results here for race 2. And Biggles, go on with what you wanted to say.
No, it's fine. We just talk about thank you for supporting the free people of Ukraine out there, for of course the Ukrainian driver, as we are aware of the unfortunate situation. It said they'll participate in the next championship. Should be fantastic. I know they're having all sorts of power spikes and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it'd be very difficult. Yes, exactly.
Well,
so we'll have a round 3 coming up in a minute.
Yeah. So before that, Biggles, as we always do, we're going to have to go to a little short break. We'll be right back. Of us, Ian Deeney, we carry it around the outside, push it to the inside. Ian Deeney going to try and carry around the outside of Aqua Minerale, and he's ahead once again. So Alex Everitt, his progression through the field stopped a little bit there by Ian Deeney. Not letting it through as easily as... Oh, that's a touch there between Ricardo Pessoa Santos and Alex Ward. Or from Pedro Santos. That was his lie, but that allowed Geoff Perkis to try and maybe send it down the inside. Not able to get close enough though. Now look at this then, side by side of this. Alex Everitt now on the inside of Ian Deeney. He's going to be pushed to the inside. Breaks later. Latest of the latest breakers. Pushes him wide to the outside. And now Alex Everitt is finally ahead. Does what Ian Deeney did to him last lap. And he can now go and chase down Jurgen Matthew Peterson ahead of him in the Lincoln Co as well. He might be a little bit more cooperative. Look at this then, a battle for the lead. Ross Butcher under attack from Pedro Santos into the Variante Alta. The inside for the first part, outside for the second part. He's going to lose that position, yes he is. Can't slot in front of him, but lucky for him, he can slot in behind Ross Butcher once again.
Growing at the front. Pedro Santos trying to get past Mr. Rock Butcher.
Is he going to be able to make that pass stick this time round? Not quite.
Oh, there it is again.
Oh, a battle for the lead. Ross Butcher now on the outside. Pedro Santos is going to try and make this pass stick on the inside. Can he do so? Yes, he can. They're side by side now, coming onto the main straight through. Variante Bassa, where of course we have that little bit of chicane for the moto. There we go, past it on the right-hand side of your screen right now. But Pedro Santos is ahead. Ross Butcher now side by side with Geoff Burgess. 4 minutes and spared to go now. 4 minutes exactly into the Variante Alta. Gets a good exit out of there. Now he can try and go up the inside of Geoff Burgess. You can see just the champion mentality. Just knows where to put his car. Knows when to play on the exit. Does that beautifully here. As the outside for the first spot. A little bit of contact. Down the inside actually shoots wide. And is lucky that he doesn't collect Pedro Santos on the way in. Butcher up to the lead once again. Pedro Santos trying to make that pass stick. Was in the lead last lap, but under pressure he cracked a little bit, made that mistake, and now he's going to try and have to go around the outside of Variante Tamburello once again. The outside for the first part, not quite able to stick it around the outside. Alex Everitt now going to try and get that cut back to the inside of Geoff Burgess. Defending the inside is Ross Butcher. Lets everyone pause. Once again, look at this, that Alex Everitt now involved in this as well. He's finally gone through again. And Geoff, the Aqua Minerale, a touch there between Alex Everitt and Pedro Santos around the outside. He's going to have to try and carry it. That corner does lend itself to do so. But Alex Everitt is going to do it on track, probably is. Geoff Burgess going to make it 3 wide into Variante Alta. Not a corner to go 3 wide into.
No.
But Alex Everitt does manage to get through cleanly and is now up into P1. On the inside of Pedro Santos, not quite able to get close enough. And Alex Everitt is going to come through victorious in race 1 here this evening, and the first race of season 4 of the Crest Autosport World Touring Car Challenge. Alex Everitt wins ahead of Pedro Santos. Well, we're back at this beautiful track. We're back at the Circuit de Nogaro Paul Armagnac. Like I said, by the end of the evening, I will have managed that or mastered that. Well, some interesting facts though about this track, because we haven't talked about that yet, is the fact that some corners are slower or are as slow as 40 miles an hour on this track, which is, well, in miles an hour. How many kilometers an hour is that? 60 kilometers an hour, 70 kilometers an hour max, I think that is. So that's not too fast actually. So quite low speed corners here. Of course, we saw that with the quite narrow bit. There are five Biggles second gear corners on this 13 corner track. So that means that almost more than 33% is second gear on this track. So a lot of acceleration zones, and I think that's why it kills the tires as much as it does. And the main overtaking spotters we have seen will be heading into turn 7 at the end of the longest straight of the circuit, where the cars will reach almost a mere 150 miles per hour.
That's what we've been seeing.
I'm a kilometer an hour guy.
Yeah, a lot
How
of those.
quick is that, Biggles?
That's yeah, over 100. That's what we've been seeing, a lot of those overtakes, of course, occurring. And we are into race 3 right now. And once again, you can see exactly, it's the grid based on race 2, which we just had, which I'll pull that up again, which is a reverse top 10. So, in saying that, which of those drivers are going to be in that reverse top 10? Well, let's pull it up, obviously, from the previous race results. So, who will that be? That will be Neil Craven will be starting on pole, if I'm not mistaken.
If I am correct, yes, it will be. I'm gonna take a look at that for you. Well then, first top 10. That means that starting in P11, and we're gonna do the same as we did last time. It will be Stephen de Gravely, Ian Deeney in 12th, Craig Deakin in P13, 14 Paul Hans, Roy Plummer in P15, 16 Gabriel Lopez, 17 Rodrigo Portugal, Chris Banks in P18, 19 Ricardo Pessoa Santos, and Carl Smith or Chris Smith in 20. Then starting in P10, it will be Lee Horne in P9, James Lee P8, Jeff Perkins P7, Robert Stoughton P6, Alex Everett P5, Nigel Stock P4, Alex Ward P3, Fabio Gil P2, Jürgen Madsby Peterson, and P1 will be for Neil Craven.
Fantastic. We're going to go down to the track as the practice session's almost over. Once again, everybody, if you are enjoying Dan's fantastic, beautiful voice, and of course all these gladiators on the track, please support Crest Autosports by hitting the subscribe button. You can even hit the bell notification to get notified when the races are on, of course, and the thumbs up. Before we go down to the...
You don't want to miss this. You don't want to miss it.
Yes,
so make sure you got that bell on.
And of course, don't forget to keep in the back of your mind who you're going to be voting for your Apex Tracks driver of the day. That will be definitely telling you in this race right towards the end who that will be. You can, we need your votes out there. Otherwise, it'll have to be myself and Dan that will do the voting. But we prefer if our audience members do participate.
It's always nice if we don't do it ourselves, because if we do it ourselves, it always looks rigged, doesn't it?
Yeah, well... But we're obviously just doing it based on what we see for those racing, and it's going to be very, very interesting. Once again, how this is going to pan out.
We treat it as a viewer, don't we?
Yes, we do.
We treat it as a viewer, and, well, basically we are. We are just a viewer that is allowed to shout about the race and tell you guys what exactly is happening.
Now, Dan, because we're on a 20-minute race now, this is the one where it's going to be more punishing on those tires, as you're saying. So we did see a couple of drivers make some mistakes in that previous round, so I expect you're probably going to see a little bit more of those towards the end, no doubt, when those tires really start falling off a cliff.
Well, I expect exactly what you just said. And the thing is, Biggles, as you can see, me and Biggles are at the moment in the commentary booth still with me and Biggles. So no one else yet. The team, like you know them, like as always, we've been here, I think, since day one. And I think James has jumped in for me last season a couple of times. But yeah, Biggles, of course, you know everything about last season. Last season was amazing. And this season, of course, at the moment has got off with 2 really, really great rounds. And of course, in this last round, we still have 1 race remaining. That is race 3 that we're going to get into right about now. Still have a minute for the drivers to grid up. Biggles, I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh, I'm absolutely excited. It's hopefully making me feel a little bit better. I am feeling a little bit better than what I was at the top of the hour. There's those results from the last race, of course, and we're going to be getting ready them to line up in that reverse order.
If you want to know the lineup, Biggles, you just reverse the top 10, and the top 11 will be just as it is.
I had time to go there. I shouldn't have rushed it. I saw the countdown, but here we go. It's good
There
that I
we
did
go.
rush it.
5 front lights are on. Drivers got out of the track really quickly. It's 5 front lights on. And they're out and we're underway for the last race here of the Crest Autosport World Touring Car Challenge Season 4 at this beautiful, beautiful circuit, the Nogaro circuit, Paul Armagnac. And it is Neil Crave leading the way ahead of Jürgen Mazepin Peterson. Fabio Gil, though, in P3 ahead of Alex. What have we had? Drivers off in the background. A lot of drivers off. There, Biggles in the background. And I think James Lee got through it all cleanly. There we have Robert Stoughton, that is, who was off track. And Greg Deacon as well. Involved in that as well was, I think, the number 68 of Nigel Stock. So, yeah, a lot of drivers getting involved in that there, Biggles. And not what you want to see early doors.
No, that's a bit punishing already, especially on those tyres. They're going to be dirty as well. Alex Ward making a run up in that very, very long straight, as you said, into turn 7. You get those, that's what I love about long straights, isn't it? They always produce great overtaking. That's a very, very tight corner to turn, and then you get this series of just crazy turns left and right. Of course, 8, 9, 10. 2 tight ones towards the end here, and then you go down a little sweeper. Turn 14, I'm not going to pronounce these at the moment, and then turn 15 to wrap up your lap in a minute.
Well, I don't, because I think we both can't pronounce those French names correctly. I would love to try it, but yeah, I'm just so bad at French. I've always found it a difficult language. I like the country, but I just do not like their language. Oh, that was a strange one. Off there is the number 96.
Pit lane.
Oh, into the pit lane, yeah. And that, well, a lot of crashes happening here in race 3. And it's something that we're not normally used to seeing. Look at who's coming through, though, to the front of the field. Already knocking on the door of Fabio Gil. It's this man, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Alex Everitt. Of course, he's the one knocking on the door already of Fabio Gil. And, well, he's going to be, hopefully, for him, making light work of it and trying to get up into P3 and P2, maybe if he can, P1. Still has about 17.5 minutes to go, so only 2.5 minutes into this race. Lap 1 is just done. We're into lap 2 now. And you said, Biggles, we're straight. Always the best overtaking opportunity, and we're going to see it here again. Down the inside goes Ian Deeney, or Ian Deeney has to defend from Nigel Stock in the Rinken Co. Ian Deeney back down the inside, keeps that position. But it's not always the case that straights are a good overtaking opportunity. It has to have a hard braking zone at the end of it as well. Oh, that's a touch between, I think, who's that? Gabriel Lopez and Carl Smith.
It was Lopez.
That wasn't too nice of a touch there from Gabriel Lopez. Misjudged his braking zone just a little bit and went into the back of Carl Smith there. Ian Deeney now ahead of him and chasing down the man who touched him, Gabriel Lopez. Ian Deeney, though, I have to say, in that Alfa Romeo has been looking deadly this evening. He's been looking really, really rather quick, and I don't think anyone has been able to match his race pace, because in both races he hit the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, look at that. Just got another. Ooh. That's Nigel. Wide. Nigel going a bit of drifting here in France. And yeah, you see Ian's going to make his way up through the field. I think Ian was out of place, wasn't he, from that first lap carnage?
Yeah, he was. He was. Of course, we know that at the front, it's the one and only Neil Crave ahead of Jurgen Mazepin. Alex Everitt, though, has got past Fabio Gil, now up to P3. This is a battle for P8. Rodrigo Portugal defending from Alex Ward.
Ooh, he's got too wide.
But he goes deep. He's gone way too deep into that corner. And Alex Ward has to allow Rodrigo Portugal back past. And it's once again Alex Ward down into P9. Little touch on the back bumper of Rodrigo once again. Alex Ward really desperately wants this P8, but he has to do it respectfully. And that is a move up the inside. Not able to get close enough this time around. But maybe the second time of asking at the end of the straight.
Yeah, after he did that work, he's had to redo it again. Getting a little bit of an off-track excursion. You can clearly see he's got the pace. Yes, sir.
Full hands though, Biggles. In P10, not doing too bad either. He's doing better than we've seen him do in the last 2 races with that Opel. So yeah, at the moment looking strong here in P10, at least looking at a top 10 finish. Although I have to say, Ian Deeney, it's looking likely that he's going to overtake him in that Alfa Romeo, because he's overtaken so many people in that Alfa Romeo who's been absolutely quick. So I think Paul Hans is going to be a matter of time until he gets overtaken as well by Ian Deeney. But he can overtake Rodrigo Portugal ahead of him, because that gap has come down now quite a fair bit as well. Rodrigo Portugal, can he defend from Paul Hans? Paul Hans in the Opel. The Opel, I can't really point out one place where that car is really stronger than the others. Down the inside, under braking maybe then. In the hands of Paul Hans, not quite able to make that one stick, but a little bit wide down the inside. Pushed onto the grass, now the outside for the left-hander. Makes it work though, goes a little bit wide on entry, but Paul Hans though, take a bounce on up into P9, around the outside of Rodrigo Portugal. That was a beautiful move there, Biggles.
It's going to allow Ian here to come into play. Look, that sneaks one up the inside. That catches Rodrigo sleeping on that corner and just cruises on by in the Alfa Romeo, making his way up and up and up the field. He's got a bit of a gap, of course, to try to catch Neil Crave, and who's leading this race from Jorgen. Alex is still just hovering in there behind them, about half a second away from Jorgen. And here's Alex Ward once again making another move on Stephen. He has got past Mr. Stephen. So, charging Alex's. I was going to say, charging Alex's, charging Ian. And the other Alex is charging right now. Look at this.
There we go, Alex Everitt. Can he make that pass stake? Oh, Jurgen Mazepin for second place. We have in the chat David Kernam as well. Go Deeney, he says. Ian Deeney. What a man that is, up to P10 at the moment, but that is Alex Everitt. Paused, I think, in the number 11. No, he's not, he's the number 111. Excuse me there for a second. Of course, the number 11 and the number 111 look quite similar from a little bit of a distance. But yeah, Alex Everitt there in the number 111 behind us. Now, still behind Jurgen Mazepin. Jurgen creating a little bit of a gap here for Neil Crave ahead of him. As we're now 2.5 minutes into a normal 15-minute sprint race. Of course, we're already 7.5 minutes into this race, because this one is 20 minutes. And that is showing at the moment. The gaps are a bit bigger than we are used to, but I think that's also tire wear coming into play. Drivers maybe saving a little bit of tire wear for the end of the race. Alex Everitt not doing so, I think, because he is absolutely flying and trying to overtake Jurgen Mazepin here.
I went for doing a little bit of tire saving mode at the moment. Like, you see some early, great, old, and brave overtakes at this point of the race where you might have to start thinking about taking care of those tires a little bit. You know, Ian's been punishing his, no doubt. He's going to be on the back of Paul Hans in a minute as well. That's the battle further back down here, and there he is. So you wanted to check out him there for you, David, out there in the chat. Obviously, you're a fan of the Alfa Romeo.
Not only of the Alfa Romeo, I think just of the driver from Ian Deeney, because he's been flying now, maybe up the inside of Paul Hans. Paul Hans, let me tell you though, he has been massive behind the wheel of that Opel in this third race. Stephen the Gravelair, of course, we saw that he got unlucky, because I think we can both say unlucky maybe with an off track, but
here comes the other Alex.
Like oh, there we go, Alex. Finally makes that move past Jürgen Madsen Peterson, that was quite a simple move once he'd gone for it. And the gap now to New Crave, about 2 seconds, a little bit less.
But look at Fabio.
Oh, look at that. Then Fabio Gil wants to go with him as well. And takes an absolute dive on the inside of Jürgen Madsen Peterson. Jürgen Madsen Peterson, though, comes back at him and is back past Fabio Gil. And Geoff Perkins now in the Alfa Romeo, looking to pounce as well, Biggles. So both Alfa Romeos climbing up the order here through this race. And Geoff Perkins definitely still in with a chance at the podium.
Really different
Now
speed
then,
coming in the
maybe
corner.
what a switch back.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off there, Biggles, but what a move that was around the outside. And, well, Fabio Gil caught napping there. Too much eyes towards the back of that Jürgen Madsen Peterson Lincoln co-car, the number 11. And, well, took advantage of that and now is up into P4 and has only one car to go before it's up to the podium spots.
He's going to push slow Jorgen, but Jorgen's been doing some pretty good defense to hold off Alex for some time. And now, once Alex has got past, he's now going to hold up Mr. Jeffrey here. As Jeffrey sends a little bit of a dummy there to say, I'm ready to overtake you. And, of course, there's always a bit of bumper drifting. Bumper, what do you call it? Bumper cars. Bumper drafting. Yep, there it is.
Bump drafting, I think is the right word. But look at that. Geoff Burke is not done here. He wants that podium so bad. And you can see Ian Deeney, though, has got past Paul Hans. A little bit further back, though. So he's now up to P9. He's now behind Stephen de Gravellier. And I don't think it's looking unlikely that he can still overtake Stephen de Gravellier. So both Alfa Romeos on a roll at the moment. They look really, really quick here at this track. Here we have Lee Horne in the Cupra. And he's behind Fabio Gil. Can he make that pass to put Fabio Gil down even further? And I think put him out of the lead of the championship after this race. Because Alex Everitt, if he can get up into the lead and Fabio Gil is in P5, or P4, that could be massive points loss here for Fabio Gil.
Fabio's about to be in
ahead of him,
pace.
though. Look
Oh,
at
yeah,
that
excellent.
Spin for Alex Everitt. Is that Alex Everitt?
No, it's
Jürgen Madsen Peterson, excuse me. That is the number 11. And he's not happy with that. He's going to cut across the grass. But I think a touch on the inside from Geoff Perkins. And that was a bit naughty there from Geoff Perkins, I have to say. Indeed, though, Gates is in a position with that now up to P8. And look at this, Fabio Gil trying to attack a late move from Lee Horne. Defending that is going to have to try it around the outside. Can he make that one stick? Not quite around this time. But he is trying to find that way past down the inside now. Maybe then he is alongside him, though. But he can't keep the pressure on. Well, the pressure is on.
I was going to say, he's keeping the pressure on.
Keep alongside.
Yep, there is two battles at the moment too. Rodrigo Portugal a little bit further back is going at tooth and nail with Nigel. Carl Smith as well on Gabriel Lopez. But there it is, the battle you're watching, of course. So, there's Paul Hans and Stephen. And you were saying about Paul Hans, well, there you go. It gets the job done on Stephen. He's now up into P9 for the Opel driver, the sole Opel driver. And that's, of course, Ian, a little bit further up the road there, trying to hunt down Alex Ward now, and he's getting closer and closer.
Well, like I said, Ian Deeney, what a drive from that man, because I think we have to, because that's where my vote is going, is to this man, Ian Deeney. He's been quick throughout this whole evening. Alex Everitt has kind of disappointed me, to be honest. Was, well, quick in race 1, of course, won that race, but after that, I struggled a little bit to come through the field, and now also New Crave is creating a gap on him, so I didn't really expect that from Alex Everitt. Maybe your standard from Alex is just a little bit too high, or my standard from Alex is just a little bit too high after last season. But yeah, Alex Ward, go on.
I'm just thinking it might be speaking a little bit too soon. There's 6 minutes to go. He might start cranking up once again. It could be let tyres taking care of him. And I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. There we go. Alex Ward down to P8. Ian Deeney up to P7. But now Ian Deeney has a little bit of a bigger gap towards Jürgen Madsen Peterson. because that gap at the moment is about 3.5 to 4 seconds. That's going to be difficult to close up within those 6 minutes if he's not considerably faster. But I do think that with that Alfa Romeo underneath him, he could be quite a lot faster. I think we're going to have 4 more laps here around this circuit, the Nogaro circuit, Paul Armand. Well, now I've completely lost track of it, but yeah, that circuit.
Look at the exit speed from Nigel here. Straight on the back of Steven. Steven seems to be struggling further into the races, don't you? Like, seems to be going backwards, unfortunately, at the moment, and had a couple of spins earlier in race 2.
The longer the race goes on, the more he seems to struggle, Biggles.
Yeah, just that's the tyre punishment, I'd probably say. It's still going 2 for now, of course. He's not giving up. At that point, he's going to have to... On the inside here, you can see it's really difficult. They're all similar liveries, but... That is Steven in the middle there, and Nigel did get past. And Steven's have to be careful. He's got Mr. Portugal behind him, the Portuguese driver. They're on the main straightaway. I like how they can both have a number 100. Not sure how that works out. It's just the way the livery looks.
Yeah, I think that's the case.
Now,
well, Rodrigo Portugal, I have to say, he came in, I think, last week as a new entry to the league. With that, of course, if you want to enter this league as well, the link is in the description. Like we said, it only costs you £2 if you want this amazing racing as well. Of course, it could be more if you need to buy the car and the track. But I think the car, first of all, is free, if I am correct with that. And the track, well, they don't cost as much as we're used to in other simulators, so it's not too big of a deal. £2 only, though, to enter this championship, which is absolutely, Biggles, amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely, of course, too. And you can win prizes. Of course, Apex Tracks will be providing prizes.
And that is, well, that is worth way more than £2. Let me tell you that.
Exactly.
So, if you do score well, and if you do manage to outscore last season's champion, Alex Everitt, who's, well, on the roll once again to take over that championship lead, then you might, well, even get something worth more than the £2 you put into it, and you will have enjoyed yourself racing with this in this beautiful league. As you can see, the top right of your screen, don't forget, guys, let us know in the chat right now who is your Apex Tracks driver of the day. My vote, Biggles, goes to the man who is currently in 7th, Ian Dini. Who goes your vote to?
Yeah, well, this battle, of course, this is a battle between Rodrigo Portugal now trying to get past Steven, who's been consistently battled. There's Nigel up the road that's also battling it out with Paul. As we're in the dying stages of this race, probably only 2 laps or so to go. Once again, get those votes in, please, out there. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and a subscribe, and enjoy this. I don't think Alex is there before. He cut it down to about just over a second now there, but to Neil Craig. But I don't think it's enough time, isn't it? Even if Alex has been saving those tyres.
Well, it could be. He could bring one last surprise attack on the last lap. Paul Hans, though, I hope he can keep the top 10 with that Opel. That will be amazing for him in the Liquid Moly livery there on the Opel. But yeah, I just sincerely hope that he can keep there in the top 10. That would be amazing with that Opel. Lee Horne, though, in P5 on the back of Fabio Gil. Can he make that pause in the dying stages of this race?
Turn 7 coming up, of course, the classic. Maybe a little bit too far back on that one.
Yeah, a little bit too far maybe for Lee Horne. But yeah, a little bit less than 2 minutes left right now. We're getting to the end of this race. Paul Hans, though, up the inside of Nigel Stock. Can he make that stick? No, a little bit further back. There's Stephen de Gravellier demoted down in position because, well, Rodrigo Portugal up into P11. Can he make that pass back down? No, he can't because of the track. Stephen de Gravellier, though, I think touches him on his back bumper, and he is off the track. Rodrigo Portugal off the track he goes, and, well, I think that's his chances of a top 10 done. But looking at the front of the field then, starting the last lap now, I think will be Neil Crave. Where is Neil Crave on the track at the moment? Let me quickly see. Where is he?
He's right here at the moment. He's just got past some traffic. Actually, Alex, my apologies. So Alex is starting to reel him in now. He's down to half a second. So has Alex just waited a little bit too late now? I don't know. Has he got enough time?
I think we're on the last lap here, Biggles.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to do it quick because we're now down into turn 7. Of course, this long straight. And he won't have enough time to go through to another lap. But yeah, turn 7 is his now. He just has to survive this. Look at how much closer Alex Everitt gets on the braking. He's so much better on the braking, it looks like, in that car. Now the tires are coming into effect. Can Neil Crave hang on for this last lap? 10 seconds left on the clock. This is the last lap. This is the white flag lap. Alex Everitt, can he do anything about the lead that Neil Crave has at the moment? Can he try and overtake Neil Crave at the moment? It doesn't look likely. 3/10 is the gap, though. We have one more right-hander to go up to this one, and now even one more right-hander and then a left-hander after that. And then it should be done, but look at the gap. It's coming down, Biggles.
Yeah.
It's coming down. One right-hander. Now a left-hander to go for Neil Crave to win race 3 ahead of Alex Everitt. But Alex, once again, does a good job to finish ahead of the championship leader, Fabio Gil. And it's going to be close after this evening. Geoff Perkins finishes in P3 in the Alfa Romeo. Lee Horne in P5. And in P6, Jurgen Madsby Peterson and Ian Deeney comes through after starting, I think, from P13 through to P7. I don't think we have any reactions in the chat. Of course, guys, don't forget to vote. We'll give you another minute or two to vote your Apex Tracks driver of the day. But what a race that was once again, Biggles. And, well, I've thoroughly enjoyed that.
Oh, yeah, congratulations, obviously, to Neil there to hold off flying Alex towards the end. And the vote, well, I'm going to go with it. I think we're both going to go with that one for sure. So we'll have to go. Thank you, Apex, for a driver of the day. There it is. Ian Deanley gets it. You agree on that one, wouldn't you?
Well, I don't agree on the fact that he's Deanley. He's
Deanley, sorry, yeah. Well, I have
Biggles, the butcher of names.
Yes, I am the Biggles step. But Ian,
we know you like that.
We gonna agree with that one?
Yeah, I think we can all agree. Unless someone in chat disagrees with that, then let us know. Neil Crave, though, as we see the result here, finishes in third. Lee Horne with the fastest lap that time around. Alex Everitt finishes in second ahead of Geoff Perkins. Fabio Gil P4, Lee Horne P5, Jurgen Madsby Peterson P6, P7, Ian Deeney, Alex Ward P8, 9th for Nigel Stock, 10th for Paul Hans, 11th Rodrigo Portugal, 12th Stephen the Gravery, 13th Robert Stoughton, 14th Carl Smith, Gabriel Lopez P15, P16 for Chris Bank, P17 for Roy Plummer, James Lee in P18, and P19 for Greg Deakin. Well,
absolutely amazing, yeah. Fastest lap, as you said, that goes there as well.
What an evening that was.
Oh, absolutely. We got action-packed racing all day long here, day and night, of course, where you are in the world. Those are those results up there for you again. I wonder if we have time there to see if we can speak to any of the drivers currently at the moment. Right.
I don't think anyone is in the interview room, so I think, Biggles, we're going to have to close it off here.
Yes, we will. And so there you can go. Congratulations to the drivers. We'll just go over that one more time for everybody. This is our qualifying at the very start, of course, that we had there from Alex did qualify on pole. And then Ian
Deeney P4, just to confirm, our driver of the day will English difficult. And I think this is something we will introduce as a little bit of a rubric to
and look at that. Race one, of course, deeper. The results. He gets the second place with the fastest lap. That's your race one results. There's your race two results. That wasn't so great for Ian, of course. That would be at P12 and the fastest lap went to Mr. Lee. And then, of course, race 3 that we saw that charge back that he did through there, finished in P7. But Neil Crave won that one. Exactly. So, we are going to more racing, naturally, aren't we, my friend?
I think, and this is next week, and then we will have a 3-week break. What a track that is, Biggles. And am I excited for that one? TT Assen, finally back home. I can finally go to my family again after weeks and weeks and weeks of traveling to do commentary. I'm finally back home again in the Netherlands and not in Indiana. For the people who know that song, lovely song. But yeah, what an evening of racing this was, Biggles. Join us next week once again out at TT Assen. Once again, a big thank you to our sponsors, of course, our main sponsor, Apex Tracks, where you, of course, can buy your own miniature tracks to hang onto your wall or just place anywhere you want. They have all kind of tracks. Just take a look at their website. The link is in the description, and you can maybe find something to your liking there. Of course, our other sponsors, 603 Autosports, 3D Wrap, Track Racer, Digital Motorsports, Esports Sims, and the GP Box. Thank you all once again for watching. Thank you to all the sponsors. Thank you to everyone racing here. And thank you once again to Alex for setting this up, of course. Biggles, it's been amazing to be in the commentary booth together with you once again this evening. You go and rest, and hopefully you'll feel better next week at TT Assen, because there we will eat some bitterballen. And we will see you next week in the Netherlands at the TT Assen. I hope you enjoyed, and until next week, bye-bye.